Well, the search continues this morning across Arkansas for an escaped inmate convicted of murder and rape. Grant Hardin has now been on the run since Sunday, escaping from the North Central unit near Calico Rock.
Yeah, the manhunt to bring Hardin is underway with a heavy police presence in North Central Arkansas. This as the search widens. Police say that they're working with surrounding states and warning people that Hardin is considered extremely dangerous.
Yeah, let's go out live to reporter Jacob Luthi, who is live there on the scene, boots on the ground. Jacob, anything new this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Joe. No, but one thing I do know is that the search efforts really continued through the night. I asked the Arkansas Department of Corrections yesterday, kind of before we left here around 7 p.m. if this was something that was going to go on through the night. Were they going to suspend the search, just given the fact that it was raining all day? Visibility has been pretty low, but they said no. They were going ahead and search all throughout the night. But one thing I did want to show you is this is a scene that we've seen all over town. Now, we have come across these checkpoints all day yesterday and so far this morning, with police asking questions, looking through vehicles, opening trunks, really being on the lookout for any sign of Grant Hardin after he escaped on Sunday afternoon. Now, I'm going to also go ahead and show you some footage from yesterday, just showing just how heavy the police presence has been here in Izard County. And that's because officials yesterday believe Hardin to still be nearby. But again, as time goes on, they say that search area will have to expand. We know crews, again, were working throughout the rainy night to try to locate Hardin. Those efforts include these checkpoints, searches with drones, as well as K-9 units. The rain has been hampering that part of the search a little bit, but local, state, and federal law enforcement are all on the ground here. And given his violent history, Rand Champion with ADC tells me that crews are using every tool at their disposal to try to find Hardin.
One of the challenging things about this area is it is so, it is so dense, it is so isolated. There's a lot of woods, there's a lot of places that are hard to get to, a lot of places that are hard to see. But yeah, you can rest assured that there are plenty of officials that are in these woods doing the search.
So as you just mentioned, the terrain here is pretty rocky. It's been rainy. It's been pretty foggy. Visibility has been low, especially this morning. He says it acts as a double-edged sword. If it kind of hinders their search efforts, but they're saying that if he's still in the area around Izard County, that could also slow Hardin down. And Champion also says that they're going to be reviewing surveillance footage from the prison, try to piece together a timeline to figure out how exactly he was able to escape. But we're going to be here all day long, and of course we'll report anything breaking to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Law enforcement has said, and I agree, that he's a very dangerous individual. He's a man now that is looking at spending the rest of his life in prison.
Well, the search continues this morning. Again, Hardin been on the run since Sunday. That was afternoon whenever he escaped the prison there.
Yeah, the manhunt to bring Hardin in, like Jacob mentioned, underway, heavy police presence. And I think what's so interesting about this case shows just his background when it comes to law enforcement.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why, there's such a heavy police presence. They're utilizing drones, dogs, boots on the ground, just to bring the search to an end. Now, Hardin, he could be in the woods, near many of the rivers and lakes, or he could have actually hit the highways. Yeah, 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley is joining us live this morning with a look back at his career when it comes to law enforcement. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, Tiffany and Joe. Well, Grant Hardin's history in law enforcement ties back to the Benton County and the surrounding areas in multiple ways. And 5 News spoke with some people in past and present law enforcement who knew him before and after his conviction. And they tell us that he never should have been a law enforcement officer. Now, 5 News spoke to former Eureka Springs Police Chief Earl Hyatt, who spent nearly 2 decades with the department. Hyatt says Hardin was already working at the department when he became chief. In late 1996, Hyatt says he was going to terminate Hardin for lying on a police report, but Hardin chose to resign. While Hyatt didn't hire Hardin, he says he never should have been a police officer and his past was full of red flags.
Grant had pulled some pretty wild things as a police officer. Notably, he had gone the wrong way on a narrow, windy one-way road and had a head-on collision with 2 elderly ladies. And then while I was at the sheriff's department, he had gone to Berryville and broken into his ex-girlfriend's apartment while he was on duty in his patrol car and vandalized it. He was very bad about excessive force, and just poor judgment.
Coming up on your 5 News at 6:30, we'll hear from the current Benton County prosecutor as the manhunt continues, and we'll also hear from former Benton County prosecuting attorney who helped put Hardin behind bars years ago. For now, back to you.
All right, thanks so much for that, Morgan. Now make sure you download the 5 News app as we continue to follow this investigation. Today, we'll have any updates that come into the newsroom right there for you. You can download for free.